Let's get caught in the moment.
Our first activity is a rendition of musical statues. Who remembers musical statues from when we were kids? Who remember musical statues? All right, so our lovely DJ say hey. So our DJ is going to play music. You are going to walk around. And when the music stops, you are going to talk to the person in front of you. Okay, you're going to gather some information. All right, we're in full investigation mode here. Okay, find out their blood type, what they ate for breakfast, and stuff. Okay, all right, just interact with the people that you meet. Okay, so the whole point is a networking and discussion event. So let's get networking. DJ, let's go.
Let's get caught in the moment. Smoking one and rolling one, I come and break you down for fun. You love it when I get up in and kiss your body when I'm finished. My drop crotch is bi-nomadic, my drop top is automatic. Put you in it, now you tweaking. I kidnap you for the weekend, rolling up and going up. I'm smoking weed and blowing up. I take that money, hold it up. I take your legs and fold them up.
Extra bright, I want y'all all to see this. Turn up the lights in here, baby. You know what I need. Want you to see everything. Want you to see all of the lights. Fast cars, shooting stars. All of the lights, all of the lights. Until it's singing everywhere we are. All of the lights.
When she said,
Yeah, so the showers of blessings are coming. So if we could kindly file into the other room, into the inside, and then we'll continue the conversation inside. Yeah. Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back. So I'll be giving you a tiny piece of paper, and you're going to write 3 things on that piece of paper. You're going to write 3 forms of capital that you have. Okay. I don't mean capital in terms of cash. Okay, we're talking about social capital, symbolic capital. So 3. Think of it as 3 traits or 3 pluses that you have. So you might have good connections, you might have good networks, you might be educated. Think about your field, okay? So the activity is what's in your hands, okay? What's in your hands is about bringing awareness to what we have. I think a lot of the time when we're trying to establish something, we think about all the things that we don't have, right? I know I do. Right? I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. And it's very easy to kind of get caught up in what we don't have rather than using what's in your hands, okay? So what we're going to do is identify what is in your hands. 3 things that you have, 3 things that you possess that you can implement to get you to your next goal, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, to make a better world for all of us, to make a better garden for all of us. So, off you go. Because a lot of times we think about money as the only form of capital, but there's loads of other forms of capital. Does that make sense? Yeah?
One is leadership.
Okay.
Connections. And of course finance.
Okay.
The travel around. And I still have hope. For Africa, action, and God.
Excellent. So, remind me the 3 things you need. You said you need
Leadership.
leadership. What does leadership mean to you?
Leadership means to me like being a good example of like making a difference in the community or the country.
So you need somebody to lead you.
Exactly, lead me into that.
Okay.
You have to try and keep up with you, eh? You got chat GDP here.
That's so long.
Go on. Tell us what you've got.
I have problem-solving skills, adventurous spirit,
Okay, excellent.
and expertise,
Good. What's your expertise in?
computer science.
Okay, excellent. And what do you need?
I need empathy,
Yeah, we all need empathy.
network,
Uh-huh.
and focus.
Focus. Excellent. Okay. All right. So if anybody has some empathy, networks, or focus.
So I'm interested in creating political awareness.
Okay.
People, the youth especially, they lack political consciousness. And what I have now, I know I'm good in speaking. And then 2, I have the social media following. 3, I'm good in understanding situations and then explaining it, breaking it down to the understanding of others as well. So this is what I...
Okay.
Excellent.
What do you need?
So right now, because I do most of my activism on social media, gadget is something very necessary. Gadget. Aside that, to guidance, because there is a saying that Tikron Kwejina. So Tikron Kwejina means, I don't know how to put it in English, but 2 heads are better than 1. Somebody that will be guiding, somebody that will be guiding me in whatever I'm doing, monitoring. Oh, in fact, this year you have to do it this way. This year you have to do it this way.
Like a partner, a wife.
And then lastly, exposure.
Okay.
To know more so that I can talk about more.
Okay.
If you are at a place or one place, you only talk about what you know at that place.
And what I need is a good network of people that I can expose myself more. So that's what I need. In addition to that, I'll need money to expand currently what I'm doing. So for now, that's it.
Leadership and collaboration and networking and mentorship is coming up. So my question to you, since we're all actually seated in tables, which is what we're going to do next, is how do you think we can bring that to the forefront? How do you think we can create a network where people can find mentors and be mentored and find leadership? How can you actually implement that among ourselves, people who are trying to establish something? Okay, so discuss and then we'll share. So, I'm Andrea. I'm the founder of NORI. So NORI is a startup research center, and our goal is to find solutions to problems. Okay, so we are non-partisan. We're not politically aligned in any particular direction. It's just ultimately about problem solving. Okay, we all know the problems that we face, and we all have ideas as to how we can solve those problems. But what I've observed is that it's very difficult to kind of make those connections and to get things moving sometimes. Okay, so the overall purpose of the event is to have these conversations about these bigger issues that exist in society and how we can kind of work together to solve them.
I'm really interested in how we can think about society, reform society, think about change in a way that achieves the goals of systemic justice. I think in a way that sums up kind of what my interests are. So I'm really interested in how this conversation would go, your interactions with some of the things we're going to be saying, and pushing ourselves. I'm somebody who is very interested in the process of kind of pushing one's ideas and seeing the limits to which one can go in terms of thinking and reflection. And hopefully I can also help. It becomes a learning experience for me. And so if you're very familiar with Ghanaian history in some regard, you would know that the biggest conversation in the past was this idea of independence now or independence in the shortest possible time. And the conversations around this and those who were leading that conversation was always a question of whether or not we are destabilizing our society as it is, or whether we are willing to push forward reform in a way that changes the status quo. Now, for those who are on the side of, independence in the shortest possible time, it was a belief that reform must happen, but we must approach it in a piecemeal fashion. That progressively and gradually we will get there. And anybody else who was promising change now was being a troublemaker. And so if you're familiar with Ghanaian history in some regard, you'll know the splits, the big splits that happened between what became the Nkrumah and CPP, and then what stayed then as the UGCC and others. And essentially this vision and this idea that Nkrumah was a troublemaker, that the desire for change and independence now was to destabilize the society as we know it, because we as a Ghanaian or people were not ready. And I feel like if you go through the entirety of our history, we've always been torn by this different compulsions. Persons who believe that the status quo as it is fine, and that it needs to be remedied in some regard, but we must hasten slowly. And those who are compelled by the moral urgency of great and gradual and important structural reforms.
We have to have those conversations around what we think we actually deserve as a people. And I think our collectively, not just as Ghanaians, our colonial history and all of these things have blurred those lines where it's normal. Like, since I've been in Ghana, I hate that phrase, it's normal. Right? When I complain about things, people say, oh, it's normal. And I keep saying, no, it's not normal. It has been normalized. And they are two very, very different things.
So at what point do we actually sit down and say to ourselves, how are others doing it? We're not here to try and reinvent the wheel. When they came over, they could see that he who owns Africa owns the world. Why? Because all the resources of Africa is the world's wealth. And so the only way that you can strip down the most powerful and the most intelligent people on this planet is to simply strip them of their identity, and then they internalize that. So here we sit as inheritors of, you know, the most powerful planet or the most powerful continent, and we're here planning how to gain our inheritance back. We're here planning how to gain our independence back when it's actually our own by right, by value. But because we don't know who we are, we can't even identify what it is that's rightfully ours.
In so many societies where there's a real identification between those who lead and those who are led, the state's whole interest is about how do we advance society as a whole forward. In our case, the state exists to advance the particular interests of the elites in the society. Now, this is not a problem that is peculiar to Ghana, but it's particularly entrenched because of the setup of our state.
We must go a step further to make sure that the systems that have been put in place to make us unable to progress is what we are running away from, or what we leave behind. We have to move to the next stage of doing. And if we are doing, are we all getting our hands on to do the work? You can't put your hands in the mill and turn back. Are you ready to go forward? We are the majority. Are we really ready to go forward? Are we really ready to disassociate ourselves from the systems that are actually bringing us down? That is what, you know, goes through my mind, and I want to ask us our role. Have we really understood our role as young people? And when you look at characteristics of young people, they are supposed to be active. Are we really active? When we meet as young people, what do we talk about? If it is not about Africa, then we are not talking. We haven't begun. Let us begin doing. Thank you.
Give him a round of applause.